Okay, so let's talk about the bass part for Seven Nation Army. When I'm teaching this, I'm going to start with the pre-chorus because it's the simplest bit. And it's really just good to get people warmed up and get their fingers working as well. So my guitar doesn't have Figurenotes stickers, my bass guitar doesn't. But you can put your stickers on the bass guitar, it's fine, it works really well. So I'm going to start down here at my third fret at a G, which would be a black. I'm going to put my finger on, and using these fingers, the first thing I'm probably going to do is just to get someone to do that. And then I'm going to ask them to move up to a yellow, which would be the 5th fret, an A. And there we go. Easy. So now all we've got to do is to get someone to do that in time. And it might be that doing those notes is too many for them. So, also fine to do 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And even if that's too much, 2 or 1 is also good. So I'm going to tell someone there's going to be 8 of those on each colour. 8 on black, 8 on yellow, if we're doing the full version. I'm going to count them with the person. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, stop. And that's the pre-chorus. And, we can sing along with that if it helps give a bit of context. And the message coming from my eyes says find a home. That's that. So the next bit we're going to look at is the verse. The second easiest part. And so we're going to start with just those main notes that I talked about earlier, which is an E, a grey, a C, which is red, and a B, which is green. And we're just going to get people playing that in time. So the rhythm's a bit more complex this time because we're not just changing on the beat. In that second bar, we're changing on beat 1 and on beat 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we can do that, that's fab. Then we can start adding in all the other notes. And the thing about playing this on the bass is that there are lots of different potential ways that you could play this on the fretboard. So the way that I prefer to play it is with my here, coming across the string, back, and then down. But we could play it all on one string if that's something that's working better for whoever you're working with. Not like that though. We can also play across all the strings. Or, we can even play it up here. But generally I find that first way to be the best because it's sort of involving a little bit of everything. Most of what you're doing is on this A string, so you're still getting that. But you're also having to come across a string for that extra note. And that's a really good thing to start developing from the outset if you can. Because once someone gets used to just finding notes up the neck and down the neck, it becomes very difficult to teach them to go across the neck because that's a little bit harder. So if you can start introducing just little elements of that at the beginning, then that'd be great. And then when we come to teach the chorus, it's just the same, but we've got some extra notes. And the best way to learn that really is just by ear. So it starts the same. Here's where it changes. Goes to C as normal, up to a D, back to the C, and then to the B as normal. So there's only really 2 extra notes in there. Those are your 2 extra ones. So it's not that different, but it is enough to trip people up sometimes. And the chorus, what it does is it alternates those 2 lines. So it starts with the first version that we use for the verse, then goes to the second version, then back to the first, then the second. Then it goes to pre-chorus. At this point it's a post-chorus. 4, 5, 6, 7, change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to the first version. So there's a little bit of mental work to do in there, knowing when to play that first variation of the sequence and knowing when to play the second variation. And, you know, knowing where to go to that chord sequence. So that's the thing that makes this a bit more of a tricky song than something like Shotgun, where you're just playing the same sequence the whole way through. But it's a really satisfying one for people to nail, also because it's super familiar and it's just cool to play.